Hello students, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jagdeep. In this video series we are learning about supply. In the previous video we talked about the difference between changes in quantity supplied and change in supply. In this video we will take a look at changes in quantity supplied. So without wasting any time further, let's get started. Consider supporting my work either through a small contribution or joining my online tutoring program. I currently tutor students from Singapore, Romania and Dubai, and I would love to help you too. To get in touch with me, you can use the number that is displayed on the screen. You can also find the number in the description box. So when we talk about changes in quantity supplied, it happens due to changes in the price of the commodity that we are learning about. Alright, so a change in price could lead to an expansion in supply or a contraction in supply. What is an expansion? So an expansion occurs when the price of the commodity goes up and the quantity supplied of that commodity also goes up. Ceteris paribus. I hope we understand what is ceteris paribus. When this happens, there will be an upward movement along the same supply curve. We'll take a look at the diagram and this will be a little more clearer to you as to what do you mean by an upward movement along the same curve. Now alternatively, this expansion could also be referred to as an increase in the quantity supplied. On the contrary, contraction is a situation where the price falls and as a result of that, quantity supplied also falls, ceteris paribus. As a result of this, under a contraction, you will observe a downward movement along the same supply curve. Like I said, we'll take a look at the diagram and this segment would become more clearer. Alternatively, a contraction could also be written as a decrease in quantity supplied. Let's take a look at the diagrammatic representation of each of these scenarios. So now we have price on the y-axis, quantity supplied on the x-axis, and we have two diagrams to depict expansion and contraction respectively. Let's take a look at expansion first. So we studied expansion happens when price goes up and quantity supplied goes up along with it. Now you can take a numerical example or you could just go with P and Q as the quantity. That is completely up to you, but for the sake of those students who are completely new to the subject, I'll roughly draw up a small schedule to understand how the upward movement would look like. So let us say we have price, we have quantity supplied. Let us say price is 1 in terms of dollars, of course, and quantity supplied is in units. So let us say quantity supplied is 10 units, and as the price goes up to 2, quantity supplied also increases to 20 units. So this is our schedule for today, and to make it even more clearer, let's call this as case A and this as case B. Okay, so we'll plot these scenarios on the graph here. So price goes up from 1 to 2. So let us say this is 1 and this is 2, and quantity is 10 and 20. 10, 20, 1 and 2. So let's plot. At price 1, quantity was 10 and at price 2, quantity was 20. And we've given the names to these pointers. This is point A and this is point B. Let's draw a line through these. So this is your supply curve. Now what do you mean by expansion and how do you identify it on a supply curve? So on a supply curve, expansion will happen when you register an upward movement on the supply curve. Alright. Why did you see an upward movement? Because as the price went up, quantity also increased. Alright. So there's an increase in price, there's an increase in the quantity supplied along with it, other factors remaining constant. This is what an expansion looks like. You can put an arrow here also to depict an expansion in supply. So contraction is when the price of the commodity falls, quantity supplied would also fall, ceteris paribus. Let's draw up a small schedule again. So we have price in terms of dollars, quantity supplied in terms of units, and we'll give them names A and B. Let me just draw the lines to differentiate a bit. Alright, so what does the scenario say? Price has to fall. So let's take the same table but reverse it. So when price is 2, quantity is 20 units, and when price is $1, quantity is 10 units. Let's plot that on the graph above. So this is our price in terms of 1 and 2, and these are the quantities. Let us say this is 10 and this is 20. So what was point A depicting? Point A was depicting at price 2, quantity was 20. So at price 2, quantity is 20. This is point A. And what does point B depict? At price 1, quantity is 10. So at price 1, quantity is 10. So let me just drop these lines and then join these pointers. So this is our point B. Now let me change the color here to show the difference. So now what has happened in this particular segment? The price has fallen and so has the quantity, and because of that there is a downward movement on the same supply curve. This is what a contraction would look like diagrammatically. So if you are supposed to locate an expansion, when it comes to supply, it will be an upward movement, and a contraction would be a downward movement. I did not write the explanation for each of these cases. The explanation would fall in line with changes in quantity demanded. So if you want to take a look at how the explanation is to be written, especially if you are a student from CBSE or HSC, you can take a look at my video titled Changes in Quantity Demanded to understand how these diagrams could be explained. The only difference in those explanations would be the movement and obviously the name of the curve. If you find learning through long videos daunting, you could also follow me over my Instagram channel, where you would learn these concepts in a smaller duration. If you're finding value in my videos, a like, comment or share really helps support my work and reach more learners like you. Alright students, I'll meet you in another video with changes in supply. Until then, bye now. Take care.